Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikah Kadash. Yahweh be in the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai be in the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now we gonna cast down these strongholds that they got on the people, talking about this fallen angel stuff, this war and rebellion of the angels with the scriptures, because they just butchering the scriptures and coming up with their own philosophy by using one precept, and this ain't how you understand doctrine. You got to go precept upon precept. So they just grab one precept and run with it. So we're going to use the scriptures the proper way and bring out the truth. Okay, we're going to start with Isaiah 28. It says, who shall he teach knowledge, and who shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So this is why when they read Genesis, they don't understand it, because they come up with a false doctrine, because they're not going precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. So you got to go in the account, plus other prophets elaborate on the situation. See, there's other precepts that the other prophets gave that gave clarity on what Moses was talking about. When you go into Second Ezra, I think 14, it tells you, it says, verse 3, it says, then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talk with him when my people served in Egypt. So he's saying this is what Moses was given, this Genesis. Verse 5, it said, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, these words declare you, or thou declare, and these you thou hide. So Genesis was hidden from the people that wasn't going to understand. You got to go precept upon precept. If you just read Genesis, you're going to be confused. Okay, so let's get the precept for Genesis to understand Genesis. Ezekiel 31. Ezekiel 31. Now this Lebanon, you got to understand, this is talking. So when you go into Ezekiel 31, verse 3, it gives you the understanding about Lebanon. It says, behold, and Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of a high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. Now this tree, Lebanon tree, is talking about Israel, but also is talking about the Garden of Eden. See, and the nation that was in the Garden of Eden, which was the nation of Adam. Now, quick, when you go to Jeremiah 26, it lets you know. This is why he said you must go precept upon precept, not Jeremiah 26, Jeremiah 22, verse 6. You got to go precept upon precept, because you don't understand what's being said. It said, for this says the Lord unto the king's house of Judah, thou art Gilead unto me, and the head of Lebanon. See, this is what people don't understand. The Lord was using similitudes. Let's get that in Hosea. See, these rules of the scriptures that people don't understand. It says, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So he used similitudes. What's the similitude? Is that the nation of Israel and the nation of Adam is like Lebanon. So when you go back to Ezekiel to get the understanding of Genesis, Ezekiel 31, real quick. So it uses the example of Lebanon being like the nation of Israel, the chosen nation. Okay. Verse 6, it says, all the fowls of heaven made their nests in his balls, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young. This is why I said the beasts of the field. The serpent was more uh, cunning than all the other beasts of the field, meaning it was a cunning nation that was above all the other cunning nations. Because it's going to go on and show you what this beast is and who the fowls of heaven is, the birds, because it also calls these people birds. Let's get that real quick. Ezekiel 17, because it's talking about Lebanon, but that bird situation people might not understand. Now, this is another thing. In 17:2, it says, Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable unto the house of Israel. So the house of Israel is who the parable is talking about, and is using the house of Israel as a similar, using the Lebanon tree as a similitude for the house of Israel. You see, but this great eagle is the bird that's used as a similitude of this wicked nation that's gonna enslave the nation of Israel, which is the nation of Edom, which is gonna slave them and take them to a land of traffic and a city of merchandise, which is Babylon the Great America. But it's saying that Lebanon is this pretty much house of Israel that the Lord has put above all the other trees, okay, because it's using similitudes. So when you go back to Ezekiel 31 and verse 6, it says, all the fowls of heaven made their they made their nest in his bowls. So this is talking about nations and using them as the similitude of a bird. It says, under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young. Now let's go to Genesis to make sure people don't get lost in the sauce. Verse 1 give you the understanding. It says, the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. So he had made many beasts of the field, and this serpent was a nation. See, this serpent was not just some freaking snake rolling around and did some kind of miracle by talking. No, this is talking about a nation. See, this is what Moses was hiding, because he's speaking in similitudes. He's using a parable and he's using similitudes, just like Ezekiel is using the same similitudes. This is what the prophets did. Moses was a prophet. Ezekiel is a prophet. They use similitudes, you see, and this is why these people is getting confused with simple things. Now, going back to 31 to get to the point, it says, under his shadow dwell all great nations. Now, who is this Lebanon tree is talking about? Verse 9 going to tell you what specific, who is this? It says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God, the garden of Eden, envied him. Okay, so this tree, the Lebanon tree, was just like the Israelites, who is a similitude for the Lebanon tree, when God chose him to be above all the nations. See, he was set on high above all the nations, and they was under him, under his branches. That's what verse 1 says. He says, the Lord made him with fair branches, with his, and he had high stature. See, the Lord put him on high and put him at the top of all the other nations in the garden of God. So this is what people don't understand, because when you go into Genesis 6, well, let's go to Genesis 5 first. Genesis 5, it tells you about Adam, the nation of Adam. It says, this is the book of the generation of Adam, meaning the nation of Adam. In the day that God created man in the likeness of God, made he him, man and female, created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. See, it was a whole nation of men and women whose name was Adam in the day when they were created. So he created men and women, and they was a whole nation named Adam, and he put them at the top of all the other trees, the other nations, the great nations that was in the garden. See, this is why a Christian don't understand, because they're reading everything verbatim, or faith for face value, when Moses was given parables. Moses was given hidden things. He was told to hide the things in parables, just like Yahweh was hiding things in Matthew 13. He said, the secrets of the kingdom is not for them. That's why I speak to them in parables. See, it's only for the individuals that's going to go precept upon precept, and line upon line, here a little and there a little, who's going to get the correct understanding. So when you go to Genesis 6, it says, and it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and took them wives of all which they chose. Now this is the conflict. See, the nation of Adam lived longer than all of the other nations. See, they was above all the other nations, and so they wasn't uh, like these other nations. That God had set them on high, and they was the sons of God. They was the one that was that Lebanon tree, just like the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel is the only one God was dealing with. He wasn't dealing with no other nation. They didn't have the law. You see? So the same way that he dealt with the Israelites, is what he was doing to the nation of Adam. This is why they have a genealogy coming through Adam, saying that Adam had Noah, and Noah had the 3 sons, and then it went from there. And he destroyed everybody else. But verse 2, it says the sons of God took wives. So the nation of Adam took wives from the other nations, and God must have told them that they couldn't do that. So what did he do? He punished who? Did he punish a bunch of angels? It says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. So he wasn't talking about no angels. He's not going to strive with these angels that sat around and broke my commandment and slept with the humans. See, this is not what it's saying, but this is what the Christian church is saying, and these wicked behind pastors and these uneducated, how he said in Peter, when he talks about those that wrestle with the scripture. See, they unlearned people that don't know that you got to go precept upon precept. They just read the thing and start coming up with all kind of what you call assumptions, assuming, because you ain't got no other precept to prove what you're saying. So it goes on in verse 4. It says, there were giants in the earth in those days. It's talking about the nation of Adam. This is how he hiding it. He's not saying the nation of Adam. He's calling them giants. They was above all the other people. That's what uh, what was it? Ezekiel 31 was saying that they was a cedar in Lebanon. There was a tree in Lebanon with fat branches. Okay, and they was high, had a high stature. This is what it's saying. That high stature is these giants. It says, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Okay, so these mighty men that was they was mixing. First of all, the nation of Adam was mixing in with these so-called women, and they was becoming mighty men and renowned, and they was having mixing in with the what you call it, mixing in with the other nations. And also, this could have been the women of Adam, because see, it's just saying the sons of God, where you don't know if it's talking about the what you would call it, the women or the men. They just thought to dilute the bloodline, because he didn't want them dealing with these other nations, obviously, because he punished they behind. Okay, and then it said the wickedness was great in the earth. So they started disobeying the Lord pretty much, because we seen what Eve did. Eve went and got into what and Eve probably started it. Eve started mixing in with the other nations, and then Adam followed. The men started following in with the situation and mixing with the other nations. You see, and they started having children, and now the seed, the holy seed, is mixed in. There's a whole bunch of confusion going on. But anyway, the Lord told Moses that he was going to hide this situation. So they used that account to try to prove some kind of the angels was disobedient to God and got kicked out. But we know that's a lie. Psalms 103 and verse 20. Because King David would have known that it was a difference between the good angels and the bad angels. He would have said the good angels obey God. See, but he didn't say that. This Psalm 103:19 said, the Lord hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. See, it's nobody that he's not in control of and ruling over. Verse 20, bless the Lord, ye his angels. They excel in strength that do his commandments, hearkening to the voice of his words. See, they obey the Lord. He ruled over them. There's no rebellion going on. Verse 21, bless ye the Lord, all ye his hosts, ye ministers of his that do his pleasure. So he have power over these, all the angels, all the spirits in the world. And there's no spirits that's rebelling against him. So they try to use the account in Genesis, and they try to match it to Isaiah 14 and Revelation 12. So you go into Isaiah 14, they don't take a rocket science to see who this is, because it talks about in verse 2 that the captives and the oppressors was going to have to go into slavery by the ones that they was enslaving. See, it says the house of Israel shall take captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. See, and they hard bondage that they was in, that is going to have to cease. So this is what it's talking about. Verse 4, it says, how have the oppressor ceased? So by the time you get down, and it's still talking about this same oppressor. Look at verse 8, it says, yeah, and for fear trees rejoice at you, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since you are laid down, no filler is come upon up against us. So this is the same thing with this Lebanon. The cedar is talking about the nation of Israel. See, it's always using this similitude for the nation of Israel. And this other wicked nation is falling now. Now that they gonna have to be into subject under their slaves. They slaves gonna be ruling over them now. So they saying that he is laid down now. He ain't gonna be over and come up against us anymore. See, still talking about him. Verse 9, it says, uh, hell from beneath is moved for you to meet you at your coming. It stirred up the dead for you, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up their throne, all the kings of the nation. Okay, so it pretty much keeps saying that he weak. Now he finna be like the other nation. Because it said, all that shall speak and say to you, are you also become weak as we? See, it's talking about this nation that was oppressing the Israelites. They was the oppressor to the Israelites. And then it goes into verse 12 to get right to the point and say, how are you fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How have you cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation? It's talking about some wicked nation, a ruling nation, who had the Israelites in slavery, and they was going to be the nation that was weakening the other nation. See, because it talks about that they was ruling the other nations in anger. Where did it say that? Yeah, in verse 6 it say, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger. This is somebody that's ruling over the nation. This is who Lucifer is. And he's fallen from his rulership. This is what heaven stands for. He's not talking about no freaking fallen angel from the heaven. Lucifer is a nation, a slave master of the Israelites that's fallen. To get right to the point, in verse 16 it says, they that see you shall narrowly look upon you and consider you, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdom? See, this is a man. See, it says that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof. There's no angels around him destroying cities, that open not the house of prisoners. See, he's not opening no house of no prisoners, man. But you are cast down of your grave like an abominable branch. You see, he's using the branch again, because he said Lebanon was above all the other branches. See, he was abominable nation. It says, as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden underfoot. He just fell from his power, man. And then look at verse 21. It tells you again who this man was. It said, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. He had children. He was fathers. He was fathers of that nation. And they had children of that nation that was enslaving the Israelites and that was possessing all the land, see, and filling the face of the world with cities. This is a slave master. It's not talking about no angel that's falling down. Then when you go into Revelation 12, see, because they keep using these verses to try to prove something when you're not proving nothing. It says, and the great dragon was cast down, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast down into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. So this is what one of the main ones that they try to use. The angels was cast out to the earth. See, and this is a lie. This is not talking about angels. First of all, that word, that Greek word, let's go into the Greek. To see, I know how these people think. That Greek word is not talking about no freaking angel, man. Let's get Genesis chapter. See, hold on. Genesis chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12. Okay, let's get verse 9. Let's see. What does this angels mean? Messenger. See? A messenger, envoy, one who is sent. See, it just don't mean a freaking fallen angel, man. It's one who is sent, his messenger. Who is this red dragon sending? Who is these 10 kings sending? They sending a army. See, this is not talking about no freaking angels, man. But they gonna put it in there. See, look at that verse. It's using the same word over here. It say, I send my messenger before your face. See, it's a messenger. It's not no freaking fallen angel, man. It says, compared to bring tidings, see, to bring a message. It says, that by implication, it's talking about an angel, but it's not. It's a messenger. So when you go into, let's see, they're giving all the places that they use the Greek word. Messenger. And when you go into the Hebrew, that's definitely not what an angel is talking about. But let's go into let's get that verse 3. When you go into verse 3, it breaks down who this thing is. It's saying, there appeared another one in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, when you go into Revelation 17, it tells you who is these 10 horns. It said, the 10 horns which you saw upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall, nope, not 16, I meant 12. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings. So this red dragon is 10 kings. This is who Satan, the devil, and the serpent is. They are the wickedest nation in among the beasts. That's why it calls them a beast, or the beast of the field. See, the beast of the field is talking about one nation. It was one nation that was subtile above all the other nations. And this is almost the reincarnation of that nation, that subtile thing, because the Lord is doing what he did in the past. That's why Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. See, he created the nation of Adam to be above all the other great nations he created in the garden. So in the garden, he had a one beast that was more subtile than the rest of the beasts. That's these 10 kings that he's calling a red beast and a red dragon in Revelation 12 and 13. So you go back to verse 9 and you see it says in verse 7, this is what they try to jump on. It said, and there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So this is talking about 10 kings fighting with his messengers, or those that were sent. And when you go into chapter 19, it tells you who this beast is fighting with. The beast ain't got no angels. This beast got what? It says, and I saw the beast. So this is the beast that was the red dragon that was battling with Michael. It says, and the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies. See, not their angels, their armies gathered together to make a war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. His army and the one that's sitting on the horse is the same as Yahushua fighting with Michael. See, Michael and Yahushua is fighting together the beasts and their armies. This is what the scriptures is talking about. Not talking about no fallen angel, but the beast who is the so-called white man who has the armies. In 1881, he was making a Bible destruction group, and they was going in and they was coming up with theologies to suit them. Them and what's the guy? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I can pull up the letter on their behind. Let's go into the letter that was written and show you how they was gonna come up with some concept to fit they behind. Salakia. Let me get this letter real quick. Okay, it was 1881 when they started to revise all these Bibles, and then 2 years later, when they was doing the Bible destruction group, this is what King Leopold of Berlin was writing to the pastors and the preachers that came up with this Christian dogma of fallen angels to try to hide themselves. Now look at what he said. He said, you will go certainly, this is the second sentence, you will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is to teach the niggers to know God. This they know already. They speak and submit to whatever. It says they know that they know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie is insult, and to insult is bad. Have courage to admit it and are not going to teach them that what they already know. Your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be the best to protect your interests in that part of the world. So they was going to interpret the gospel for these so-called slaves in the Congo and in anywhere else, because he was in Belgium and they was running all kind of stuff coming out of that area of Germany, and they was making this thing worldwide. You see, it just wasn't him. He was getting all kind of evangelists together to go on a campaign of teaching the gospel that's gonna fit their interests. And what is that is? To hide themselves. It says, for these things you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in their underground. So this is what these people was doing. They were trying to come up with ways to hide themselves. And let's get that out of this is who that eagle is. See, that eagle that was attacking the Israelites, they had to come up with a lie. Let's see here. It tells you what they were going to be doing. This is Jeremiah 49. Okay, Jeremiah 49 and 10. It says, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. See, Esau is them 10 kings, is that red beast. This is why it was called the red dragon. Genesis 25 and 25. Why did they call it the red dragon? Why did they call them 10 kings? That was the beast, because the beast had 10 horns, which was 10 kings. Why were these 10 kings called red dragon and red beast? because Genesis 25 and 25, it says the furs came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So these are the people that is in rulership. This red nation. See, it was a red nation that was the cunning hunter. Look at verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. See, he was the one in Genesis. He the second version of Genesis 3 and 1. It said, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. This is why Revelation called him the beast, the red beast. See, the scarlet colored beast, because it's talking about this the most wickedest nation that the Lord made. See, and he destroyed that wicked nation in the garden, but when he came out and started repopulating the earth and separated the sons of Adam, he created another wicked nation in the womb with the righteous nation of Jacob and Esau. This is why when you go into the New Testament, what is it? Romans 9 and 13 is talking about them. They the whole operation. It say, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So he already made a plan, see, that he gonna bring back this ruling nation, just like he had in the Garden of Eden. He gonna bring back this wicked nation, just like he had in the Garden of Eden. And this wicked nation is gonna try to pretty much trick the nation of Israel, just like they did the nation of Adam. That's why he says in 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. See, because this is the same thing. The Lord worked in similitudes, and he, just like King Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. He do the same thing he been doing. See, he be using, he got a wicked nation and he had a righteous nation. And this is what's going on. Because when you go into Ezekiel, and this is why you got to go precept upon precept, and you won't get to understand. See, people really think there's some angels around him disobeying God. What is it? Ezekiel 7. Let's see, 7. And getting right to the point, verse 24, it says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen. See, of all the non-Israelites, it's a worst of them. See, they the most wickedest nation in the Bible. They is Satan, the devil, and they are the deceiver that deceived the whole world, that is destroying the whole earth. See, and this is what people don't understand. They thinking that it's some freaking disobedient angels, and that's a lie. The scriptures when it's talking about those people in the first beginning, it's talking about now it's one in Ezra's, first Ezra's, that's breaking down that thing. What is it? Warfare, because it talked about how they was oh, they ain't got the. Let me put war in here. That might be in there too much. Yeah, that's in there too much. Let's put in garden. Now, let's put in Noah and see if it comes up. 68 times Ecclesiastes. Second Ezra, Noah and his household. Okay, second Ezra chapter 3. Okay, because it talked about the garden. It says, the flood neither left Noah, his household came righteous men. No, this is not talking about that. It's in first Ezra, I think. Yeah, it's the first Esdras. It says, it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. Okay, so yeah, I want that first uh that first Esdras, so that broke down. Oh man, I want to get. Let me go the first Esdras real quick. This is chapter 1. It talked about mm, is a renown. Let me try renown. This is my last try. Yeah, it's not what I want. We're ready to Paris. Received under him as we were greatly renowned in the sight of all Israel. Yeah, but yeah, so this is how they twisted it up and try to make it seem like it was some fallen angels. Those are three areas pretty much. And you can go to Peter, and they try to go to Peter and say that this is what Peter was saying, but he wasn't. He wasn't talking about no angels, because Peter used the same. He used the same wording that he used the same wording that Moses used. Say Second Peter, the second chapter, say, "For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment," says, "and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly." So they try to say Peter um, was confirming that these was angels that sinned. But see, this the same Greek word that don't mean angels. It mean the messengers. See, they were the messengers. They were the one that was sent. See, they were the judges at that time. And the judges and the leaders, the nation of Adam, sinned. See, you can't get around that because they keep trying to use this angel word, which don't mean angels. See, it means the sent out. But they try to put one meaning on the word. But that's not what it's talking about. See, they was cast down to hell, meaning he punished those that eighth nation of Adam and made it to where you don't live like Methuselah. That's another thing. When you go into what Genesis 4 is it? Or is it 3? Because it goes into how long they was living. Genesis 2? No, Genesis 4. Genesis 5. Okay, that Genesis 5 goes into how long they were living. Verse 27, it says, And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. So they was living a long time. They was living forever. And so he made it to where this nation of Adam, you're not going to be living like this long time. Now you're going to be living like these people that was the east of the garden, who Cain went out and had to marry one of their daughters, because they wasn't the uh, normal, they wasn't a part of the nation of Adam. And what did he tell the Israelites in Deuteronomy 7:3? He says, verse 3 says, neither shall you make marriages with them. Your daughter you shall not give unto his son, and his daughter shall you not take unto your son. For they will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So this is what was going on. See, they started to deal with them other nations in the garden, and the other nations were saying, you don't have to do what the Lord tells you to do, because they wasn't like the nation of Israel. And Moses was given this parable to let people know that this ain't the first time the situation happened. See, this just the Lord doing it over again. He destroyed them and started over again. That's all it was. And he's setting up the same situation he set up in the Garden of Eden. And not no fallen angels and all that crap. That's all a lie coming from those Edomites. And look what King David said about these Edomites who's sitting around telling these lies about a fallen angel. This the Psalm of David to Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul a bold-faced lie about how David and the high priest Ahimelech was conspiring against Saul, but it was a bold-faced lie. He said, your tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor working deceitfully. You love evil more than good and love lying rather than to speak righteousness. You love all devouring words, O deceitful tongue. See, this is what they do. They come up with amazing lies talking about a fallen angel. So I'm going to leave it there. I just want to make another one of these fallen angel videos, because these people thinking that there's some rebellious angels, and it's not. And you can go to, before I close out, you can go to Matthew 4 and try to use this, but it ain't gonna work, because it don't say no fallen angel. It says nothing about an angel. It says this was Yahushua led up in the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. See, the nation of Edom is called the devil multiple times. So where is he talking about? He said when the tempter came to him, he said, if you be the son of God. So it kept calling him tempter. It didn't say it was an angel. See, and you're going to have to prove that it was an angel. You can't. It's using the word Satan. It's using the word devil. You can't prove that it was an angel. So there's no, you got to go precept upon precept, and they can't prove it. So you can't prove that any angel was doing anything. But this is what they do, man. They try to come up with all these lies. What you got, Luke? Luke is another one. They try to go to Luke, because Luke gave another same thing. He said, tempted of the devil, and the devil said unto him. See, it's just talking about a devil, a deceiver. The deceiver said unto him. He tried to deceive him. And he just said, get behind me, Satan. Get behind me, adversary. See, they just using similitudes. Using deceiver. He calling him a deceiver. He calling the person the adversary. It never said it was an angel, but they want to use this because they trying to hide themselves. See, and people going along, they've been raised thinking this crap for so long, they want to go along with the slave master. They know he was the slave master, and he came up with that doctrine. You can't see, is nowhere in Luke and Mark and Matthew that it's talk about an angel tempting Yahushua. but they gonna use that slang word, devil and Satan, and try to say it was a man. Same thing in Revelation 12. He called them the serpent. He called them devil and Satan. He's not talking about no angel. It talked about a messenger. See, he had messengers, and they just want to put angels in there. See, the church people came up with this angel mess. That's why I call him the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies. So yeah, these people can't prove nothing that they saying, and they know First Thessalonians 5:21 say you got to prove all things. Prove somewhere that the Lord punished some angel somewhere, and prove that He got some disobedient angels. You can't find it. They try to go to Job. That's another one. Job, he doesn't say this was some angel. So you can't prove it because they're gonna go to Job 1. It says sons of God. They go 1 and 6. It says, now there was the day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came along among them. Now this sons of God, they said that in Genesis 6. So how can you not accept it in Genesis 6, but you want to accept it in Job? And where was Job at? Was he not in the land of the Edomites? The Edomites is always called Satan. But they wanna go with that church Edomite Christian Catholic dogma. See, knowing they was the slave master, you wanna go with how he was trying to hide himself and with that narrative, but you can't go into the scriptures and show that this is a disobedient angel. Just because there was demons inside of a man, that don't prove that wasn't God putting them demons there. Let's go ahead and get that. We're gonna go and end it on this because this is the whole key. 38, 28, 39, 28, Salaki. It says there be spirits that are created for vengeance. These spirits is created for vengeance, like the 7 angels in Revelation. They created for vengeance. They created to bring the wrath of God to these wicked people. See, them demons that was thrown out of that man, God put them demons on that man. God told the spirits to get into this man because he doing some wickedness. See, he dealing with witchcraft, he dealing with some kind of wickedness, and God using vengeance on his behind. You see, and the Lord just was displaying his power. Because they said, oh, son of man, they went to talking to him saying, son of man, don't do something. Okay. And then that was being spoken of uh, in a parable type of way. Now, when you go into what is it, Proverbs 17 and 11. See, it says, an evil man seeketh only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. See, that's what that messenger is about. It ain't got to be no of an angel. It can be a whole animal. It can be fire. It can be a disease. The Lord is sending messengers to punish the wicked. So people, and they always would have, even when somebody got sick, they was thinking that a spirit is on the people. The people got a spirit and all this kind of stuff. These diseases were spirits and demons on the people. See, and it's the Lord putting his spirit on the people and punishing them behind, using an angel to punish them. Because it was an angel that was in the sky with a sword, and all the people was catching the pestilence and dying. This is how the angels can kill your behind. So they trying to act like just because the angels is doing stuff to people, that these are bad angels. See, this is the notion that God loves everybody and he don't punish nobody. See, and this is the problem. You come up with this notion that God got some rebellious angels because they see in the scriptures when angels is punishing people and doing things to people. No, these are righteous angels. All the angels are righteous because they doing what God telling them to do. There's no rebellious, wicked angels. See, that's rebelling against God and they doing what they want to do. So you can't get around that part. It's no angels that's disobeying God. You can't prove that. But we gonna leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.